This handy little tool can prevent your car from rusting. Let's first find out why this should be used. What do these cars have in common? Yep, rusting fenders that could have been prevented. For the most part, cars nowadays have sheet metal that is plated with zinc, which doesn't rust as easily, or uses aluminum, which doesn't rust at all. Even though this is the case, why then do we see cars with rusting fenders? The thing is, even if you're a car enthusiast that washes his or her car regularly, you can still experiencing rusting from here. Hint, good used car buyers often look to see if rust is starting to form here. I know this from experience. As a car enthusiast, even though I washed and waxed my previous car regularly, a small section of the rear quarter panel still rusted through. When you see paint start bubbling up from beneath the paint like this, you know right away it's always rust. This type of rusting is like a cancer, as it shows up when it's too late to prevent because it comes from the inside out. Too many videos I see online talk about fixing paint chips on the outside surface of the car to prevent rusting, but they don't mention a good way to protect these other vulnerable areas that also start rusting but from the inside and not the outside surface. To prevent this from happening, we must first understand why rust forms here so easily. The first reason is that as the tires rotate, they pick up rocks and debris from the road and fling it quite hard within the wheel well. The paint and zinc plating of the fenders can get chipped away as the rocks and debris hit. As you can see in this extreme example, most of the dirt picked up from the tires end up under the car, in the wheel wells, and on the inside surface of the fenders. The same thing will happen with water and snow on the road. Another reason is that in order for the bumper cover to be attached to the fender, there often is a hole in the mating edges that allows a nut and bolt to attach the panels together. In this case, we also see some clips in between that help line up and hold the two surfaces together. Over time, as the car is used, these contact points all rub against each other as the panels flex and vibrate during everyday use, resulting in tiny scratches forming that eventually allow moisture and water to get in contact with the bare metal. Sand, pebbles, and other small debris can also get caught in between, thereby speeding this process up. Because these areas are prone to being in contact with lots of dirty water, they are great places for rust to start. All this happens even though the outside surface of your car is still in mint condition. My solution is simple, doesn't take much time, and doesn't cost a lot. But before continuing on, please remember to like this video and share it if you find it useful. I do take a lot of time to make and edit my videos in hopes it will help viewers like you. Subscribe if you haven't already and click the notification icon too, so you don't miss any new videos. Your support will help my channel grow and let me know that you want more. And as always, find more details in the video description. Let's continue then. First, take a magnet and carefully test each fender panel and bumper cover to see if they are made of steel or not. Hint: be careful not to let the magnet hit the bare metal too hard, as it can cause a paint chip, especially the case if you use rare earth magnets. Second, buy some rust inhibitor or rust check and modify the included straw like this. You will also need some heat shrink tubing that is slightly larger than the straw. Cut about 1.5 to 2 inches in length. Slide the straw into the heat shrink tubing. Leave about 1/2 inch at the end. Next, heat it up to shrink the tubing around the straw. Be careful not to burn yourself or overheat the straw, causing it to melt or catch on fire. Third, let the spraying begin. Spray the inside of the steel fenders as follows. Hint: you must use safety glasses as this method will sometimes cause back spray towards you, or cause the straw to shoot out if the pressure builds up too much. Wearing nitrile gloves will also be a good idea. Start with the mating surfaces of the fender and bumper cover. Don't spray too much or spray past the two surfaces, as you only need to have the fluid sprayed in between the two surfaces. As you notice here, sometimes the two surfaces are quite tightly held together, and the shrink tubing cannot get in between easily. Be careful in these cases, as pressure can build up and cause backspray. Clean the area after spraying. Over the next few days, some of the fluid may also leak out, so just wipe clean as necessary. Next, Continue with a nut and bolt that attaches the bumper cover. The bumper cover is usually attached to the fender using a nut and bolt inside a small opening within the wheel well. Spray the inside of the opening around the nut and the inside surface of the fender. Make sure to wipe up any excess fluid as you go. Lastly, the inner fender edges. This rust prevention technique works best if your vehicle has a plastic or rubber fender liner or cover to protect most of the inner wheel well. If your wheel well does not have a fender liner, you should also consider spraying rubberized undercoating if the manufacturer has not applied it already at the factory. Spray around the inner edge of the fender. If you see that some of the paint has chipped off on the edges of the fender, then you want to fix these properly and get them painted before doing this rust-proofing step. And that's it. Do this once a quarter, and it should help prevent rust in these common areas. Just make sure all the areas that are to be sprayed are cleaned thoroughly and dried first. If you live in places that see lots of moisture or salty environments like beaches or areas where salts are used during winter, then do this more often. Once you get used to it, it'll be very fast to do. Though this is all I'm showing today, there are many other places to protect on a car. If there's enough interest, then I will do a follow-up video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more unique videos to come.
Ah! It wasn't recording? It wasn't recording. Oops. Sorry.